Hello and welcome back to a podcast. It's been a while. We haven't done a pod since Wimbledon, but we definitely plan on getting back on the mic. Hopefully during Cincinnati, but definitely before the U.S. Open. Lots of exciting stuff has come our way. We've become partners with Sharp Circle, where we record our bets. Reese is doing some tremendous work, stressing transparency and helping us grow our platforms. So we're very thankful. We're going to be tracking there. We're going to be doing some more write-ups there. Hopefully there's going to be like a line graph to compare my plays as well as Brad's plays. I'm higher volume than Brad, but Brad also uses more quantitative analysis more than I do. So we have different styles. So it's going to be nice to kind of track on a platform that people can subscribe to. So that's a lot of fun. We are also Bet 105 sponsors. So please, sign up with our link that we're going to be posting periodically on X as well as our podcast. And, they have great odds, high limits, reduced VIG. So I think they're one of the more transparent books out there. I know other books they have tendencies of limiting people. So Bet 105 is definitely a great option if you're looking for a good sports book to place your bets. Without further ado, I would like to get into tomorrow's matches. Round 2 gets underway, so that means that the seeds will start playing. It's the top half of the draw. Should be an exciting slate. Some good matches. So we'll start with the first match. There are 4 11 a.m. matches tomorrow. I have actually plays in all 4 of them, so I'll go through each of them. We'll kind of start from the beginning of the day and kind of work our way down. So the first match I wanted to talk about is Bonsai versus Musetti. So I'm on the Bonsai set 1 money line at plus 160. I'm a big fan of this play. I like fading Musetti on quick hard courts. He kind of like, from watching him in Toronto as well as Washington, he plays like a clay court style on a quick hard court. It just doesn't work. He tries to kind of slice and dice his way through opponents and using different heights and stuff, and he just is pretty underpowered, and it just doesn't work on a hard court. Plus, I don't think his movement is quite as good on hard as it is on clay. On clay, he likes to, he's able to kind of slide into balls, use that drop shot more, and his strengths are kind of nullified on a hard court. So that's one of the reasons why I'm fading Musetti. I also like Bonsai on these courts. I thought he played pretty well against Arnaldi. I think quick hard courts are his best surface. We saw him make a run in Australia once upon a time when he was playing well. He's kind of a hot and cold player, so this bet could go south. But I'll take my chances, especially at that price. I think Musetti also has trouble controlling these Wilson balls. If you look at Musetti's service percentage during the clay court season, he was in the high 60s, low 70s for pretty much every match throughout the clay court swing. And you look at his matches at the in Washington and Toronto, and he was hovering at between 55 and 60. So I think he definitely has trouble controlling these lively balls, and I think that makes a difference as well. So I like Monty in some capacity if you want to play the full money line at better than plus 200. I think that's a look. If you want to play the plus 1.5 sets, I think that's a good look, and I also like the set 1. So Bonsai in some capacity, that's my play. Plus 240 is actually a tasty price. I might actually sprinkle on that as well. Next match, Mickelson against Corentin Moutet. I'm on Moutet here. I think it opened at close to a pick, and now Moutet is a slight dog. I think this is a tough matchup for Mickelson. They played in Mallorca. Moutet got him there. Mickelson is underpowered. And I think Mute kind of feasts on that because it's going to be hard for Mickelson to get the ball by him. Mute likes playing that eclectic defense from far behind the baseline. He likes kind of using different paces and strategies. I actually think he does a better job than Musetti of implementing those change of paces on a hard court. So I think I'm not too high on Mickelson. I know he had a good run in Toronto, but I think that match against Lerner, I think that was more a product of bad Lerner than good Mickelson. And he was pretty much outplayed from start to finish by Kachanov. I think Mickelson tries to get too much into that cat and mouse game. I know he has great hands, but if he tries to play that way, I think Mute has him. I think he's better at that kind of crafty cat and mouse sort of tennis. So I like Mute as a slight dog. I probably have him as a slight favorite. I probably flip these lines. Have Mute at minus 120 and then Mickelson at plus 100. Next match, Casper Ruud against Arthur Rinderknecht. I love the dog over combo here for Arthur Rinderknecht. These courts are pretty good for Arthur. Quick hard courts, lively balls. Arthur has a big serve, big forehand. I know he struggles off the backhand wing, but so does Ruud. So, I would say once the rallies start, probably Ruud has a slight advantage, but I think like off the serve and forehand, Ruud definitely has an advantage, but I think these courts kind of negate that because they're kind of quick, low bouncing courts. He needs that high bouncing trajectory to really help his forehand. So I think at 2-1, I think Rinderknecht is a good look. I got plus 145, I believe, on the 3-set line. So I really think Rinderknecht is live. Wasn't impressed with Casper in Toronto. He struggled against Nuno Borges, who's been pretty bad recently. Kachanov really outplayed him from start to finish. I know Kachanov made the final, had a really good week, but he was outplayed in that match considerably. So I think a guy with, plays first strike tennis and can take it to Casper and attack that backhand, I think is going to have success. And I think Rinderknecht, that's what he likes to do. He likes to get the first strike in rallies. And if he can put Casper on defense, really, really like his chances. So 2 plays there, dog over combo. Next match is Holger Rune against Roman Safiullin. I'm laying the 3.5 with Holger. I know it's a little scary just because of Rune's immaturity and his inconsistency, and he's he throws in these random duds. It's been a problem for over a year now. That being said, Roman has those same deficiencies. He's very inconsistent. He's erratic as well. So, when 2 players kind of have the same weaknesses, I'm gonna back the one that masks those weaknesses better and is the better tennis player. So I think this is actually a good matchup for Holger. 3.5 is not too bad. I don't think it really matters then who serves first. I don't think that's as paramount as if it was a 4 or 4.5. It's just good enough. It's not one of my favorite plays, but I think Holger Rune is the much more versatile player. I think he's going to have more looks to break. I think if he can extend rallies, with his athleticism and defense, I think Roman is going to miss. So like that play a lot. Moving on to the 12:30 slate. 2 matches I'm playing here. I'm playing the Echeverry FAA match. I got set 1 over 10.5. These are 2 guys that are really struggling right now. FAA, I believe, lost to Struff at Wimbledon. Um, I think he's been really poor as of late. Oh, he lost to Marjan in his home country, being up a break, I think, in both sets. Poor loss for FAA. So I think he's struggling with confidence. So I don't want to back him here. They both struggle on return, these guys. They're both pretty one-dimensional. This is going to be an error fest. Like if I could bet the over on unforced errors, that's probably where I would go. I just think these guys are going to be rusty. I think they're going to struggle on the quick surface. I think it's going to be kind of an up and down kind of affair. So like I would be surprised if it's lopsided. And the fact that I'm getting plus 190 on that over 10 and a half feels appetizing to me. I also like the over 2.5 sets. Um, both these guys are going to compete. That's not the issue. It's just like I have a hard time believing that each guy is going to produce a good level of tennis from start to finish. Um, and that's the reason for my handicap here. So over 2.5 sets and the over 10.5 in the first set plus 190. Next match is Fabian Marjan against Stefanos Tsitsipas. I'm on Marjan money line. I got it at minus 110 on Bovada. Tsitsipas right now is just a pure fade. He's awful. I don't think he's playing like a top 80 level on quick hard right now. His backhand is just an absolute disaster. Marjan is a guy that can rush him. Kind of has flat shots off both wings. Decent serve. So I just don't see where Tsitsipas is gonna have enough consistency to attack Marjan. I mean, there is an off chance that Fabian has a complete off day. You know, he has a very low ceiling or a low floor. I shall say, high ceiling but extremely low floor. So if he reaches that floor and is just missing everything, I mean, Tsitsipas can win. But I don't feel like Tsitsipas has as his. I don't think his base level is quite where Marjan's is right now, which is saying something. Shows how far he's regressed. So I play Marjan up to minus 140. But at pick, I definitely have to fade Tsitsipas. There's no doubt. I know he's back with his dad. Uh, but there's only so much a coach can do. I mean, he has so many technical flaws right now. With the backhand, I think he's really struggling on the forehand too, just because he feels like I feel like he has to overcompensate for the weak backhand. Isn't winning as many free points on serve. It's a quick surface. It's just a spot where I'm happy to fade Steph. um, Moving on, Sinner against Galan. So I actually really like this play. I think it's a fun one. Playing the LWW with Sinner. Sinner to lose the first set and win the match. I got nearly 10-1 on it. It's a half unit play. Obviously, Sinner is, I would say considerably the best player in the world. I don't think there's any debate really. Like, he he was basically a point away from going for the calendar slam at the US Open coming up. So um he's just been so consistent, just so relentless in every way, shape, or form. That being said, when he played in Cincinnati last year, he did lose a few sets. After Wimbledon, I believe he struggled a little bit, considerably so. I mean, he still won the event, but he had a tight match with Tiafo. I think he lost a set to Zverev. I think he may have lost a set also to Rublev. I could be mistaken there, but these balls are definitely a topic of conversation. These Wilson U.S. Open balls are tough to control. So I'm just throwing a dart at the wall and seeing if it sticks, or seeing if it hits the target. But at 10-1, I feel like, if Galan can come out hot and um, Sinner is just kind of mistiming the ball, and he can find a way to sneak out that set. I think at 10-1 in a first round, I think it's worth a shot. Um, so that's a small half a unit play for me. Definitely not one of my bigger plays. It's just a fun one. Um, Next match is Atmane against Kaboli. I'm on the under 22 here. I think Kaboli's been impressive. I mean, he was a game away from beating the champion in Toronto. Had a really good run in Wimbledon. I'm not looking too much into that Tiafoe loss in Washington. I think that was just a poor match on his part. Just, these guys play poor matches from time to time. Besides Yannick Sinner, we've seen it with Alcaraz too. He had that bad match against Goffin in Miami. Like it happens. So overall, he's been very, very impressive, and I just think his baseline solidity, his mental toughness is just hands down way above Atmane. And I feel like if he can kind of extend rallies and you know, uh, force Atmane to play, I really think it's going to be problematic for Terrence. I think he's going to get frustrated, and I could see that going south pretty quickly. I could see like a 1-4 kind of scoreline. Next match is Zizou Bergs against Lorenzo Sonego. I'm laying the games with Sonego. Sonego has kind of been quietly impressive. I was surprised to see that he has a seed here. I think these are good courts for him. It really helps his attacking game. I thought he played pretty well in Toronto, winning the first set against Rublev, comprehensive win against Yu Bu. In Washington, lost to Arnaldi, but that was 5-5, so I don't think that's too much to be ashamed of. At Wimbledon, tough 5-setter against Nakashima, which was a good win. Played Shelton really tough as well. So I think Sonego is in one of his good patches right now. Like he can go through patches where he just can't find the court, but I think he's not playing his best. But I do think that he's a little bit above his normal base level per se. So he's a guy that I kind of want to back in this situation. I think Bergs would also prefer a slightly slower court than Sonego. I think he's able. Bergs is not as good at taking offense. And if Sonego has control of the point, I really find it hard for Bergs to win points. Obviously, Sonego is not a great returner, but I think he will have some looks on return if he can connect and start rallies. So Zizou has not been great, to be honest. Lost pretty convincingly to Nava in Toronto. Lost to Evans in Washington. So I think these guys are kind of heading in opposite directions, and the fact that I'm only laying 1.5 games kind of sides me with Lorenzo Sonego here. So then moving on to the night slate, Davidovich Fokina against Fonseca. I think this is the match that kind of everyone's looking forward to tomorrow. But I think the Fonseca hype is, it's been high all year, but now I think he's been significantly overvalued. This match opened at pick, and now Fokina is a 2-game favorite, but I actually think he should be more like a 3-game favorite, if you ask me. Fonseca is just not disciplined enough right now. Doesn't have enough nuance in his game, and Fokina is playing really good tennis. I mean, minus a couple chokes in against Rublev in Toronto and De Minaur in Washington. I mean, he's playing close to a top 10 level right now. So I think that the chokes are in everyone's mind, but if you just like look at his tennis and what he's producing on the court, I think it's at a significantly higher level than what Fonseca is producing. I mean, Fonseca nearly lost to Bu Yu, lost to was it Schoolkate or Duckworth? I think it was Schoolkate in Toronto, which is a poor loss. And I just think like Fonseca is just not good on quick surfaces. So I I don't know what to say. I think Fonseca really needs to improve a lot of aspects before he, gets talked about in, the conversation with like other top 10 guys. He definitely has talent and the ball striking, but he doesn't know when to, you know, I think his shot selection is poor, and I think his ability to kind of read the play and read like where to go um needs a lot of improvement. So um definitely like Fokina in that match. Moving on, Tiafo against Carballes Baena. um Tiafo, he's been okay. I can't say good. Still has too many lapses in concentration. Just some poor footwork in certain aspects, and I think that's the reason why he really struggles to win by margin against guys that he should be beating comfortably. He's a 4.5 game favorite here, which I think is a tad much. I think people are kind of looking into Baena. He struggled against Gaston, and he kind of looked half injured. He called the trainer in that match. So I think like people are looking at that and kind of thinking, oh, Tiafoe should roll him. But I think that's being baked into the line. Um, and the fact that Tiafoe does struggle to win by margin, and he's, makes me want to play the over here. So I'm playing the over 21.5. I also think, if Carballes Baena is healthy, which I think he is. If usually if guys step on the court, they're pretty healthy, as we saw today with Alex Muller. Um, he's a pest out there. He's going to make Tiafoe hit a lot of balls. He's going to make him hit two or three good shots to win points, and we saw that last week when he was a big dog against Fritz. He really pushed him and made Fritz play. So I don't think this is a walk in the park for Tiafoe, and I think it's going to be pretty close. I think another good look is playing the Tiafoe either 2-1 if you want a bigger price, or playing the over 12.5. I saw -125. I think those are both really good looks here as well. And finally, my last play in Cincinnati tomorrow is the Fritz Nava under 21.5. I think this is just a you know uh, product of baseline solidity. When rallies start, Fritz is just so much more disciplined, so much more tactically sound, and I think I was watching some of Nava's match today against Koric, and like he was the better player, and that's why he won. But I thought his tactics were pretty poor, and he didn't kind of understand what to attack in rallies. He was going after Koric's backhand, which was kind of puzzling. Koric was missing anyway, but if you play Borna Koric, you should be pinning his forehand more. Koric just really struggles on that wing, especially when he's low on confidence. So Fritz is going to make that very challenging, because Fritz is very tactically sound, and I think he's going to expose that weakness in Nava's game. And really make it tough. 21.5, we're just asking for a break in each set. I think that's reasonable. And I think it's going to be really hard for Nava to break Fritz. I don't think Fritz served great in Toronto. He did struggle, especially against Shelton. I don't think he played amazing, but I still think he's 3.5 to 4 games better than Emilio Nava. Even though Nava has been pretty good recently. So those are my plays tomorrow. I got nothing in the Martinez Paul match. I really wanted to fade Tommy Paul in some capacity, but Pedro's not the guy to do it with, unfortunately. So I'm going to lay off there. If Paul was playing a lot of these other guys in the draw, I probably would have faded him as well. Baez Diallo. Diallo has really regressed since a good clay and grass season, so I don't really want to back him there. Obviously, he should win, but also Diallo is a sizable favorite, so that's a hard match for me to read. I don't really I can't really get a gauge on how much better Diallo is, a struggling Diallo is than Baez on a quick hard court. So it's hard. Mahak Monterino, tough match to read. I just can't bet on Mahak anymore with his retirement history. It's really tough. Monterino's also gotten better, but he's a short dog. He's only plus 150. So like, I didn't have a read on that one as well. Coleman Wong against Ugo Humbert. I've been burned by Coleman Wong twice in qualifying, and once in the main draw as well. So don't want to be burned by him again against a guy, Humbert, who hasn't played that much. I don't think Humbert has played. Let me see. Yeah, he did play. Well, yeah, he actually withdrew and didn't play. I think he's been hurt. Didn't play Toronto. Withdrew against Nava, and then he lost in 5 to Monfils at Wimbledon. Lost to Brooksby in the Eastbourne semis. So he hasn't played much since Wimbledon. He's so much better than Coleman Wong, but it's a tough match to get a gauge on, honestly. And I don't really want to back Wong. I just think he's very one-dimensional, and he's a challenger level guy. So if Humbert plays anywhere close to his level, he should beat him pretty comfortably. So no play there. And that's it. I got plays on all the other matches. So should be a fun slate. Hope to have a good day. Today was an up and down day. High volume day for me, but started really well with Ugo Carvalho beating Nishikori, and Boyer beating Holt. Then kind of took a downturn with the Muller Brooksby match. And then kind of finished pretty strong. We ended, unfortunately, with a Vukic loss, but there were a string of wins there in the evening session with the Lerner Tien and the Landaluce Kips in 3 sets. The Offner Royer over. So some good wins there as well. So hopefully Brad has some plays too. Get some GBM official plays and some popcorn tennis going as well. Summer hard court swing is kicking into full gear, and we're approaching the US Open. So lots of exciting stuff coming our way. So anyway, best of luck to everyone, and have a good night.